The opinions expressed on the following audio program are solely those of the host and the guests. Burner Podcast is an independently produced, not-for-profit show and is not associated with the Burning Man organization or its subsidiaries. The views expressed are not representative of the entire Burning Man community and are presented here for entertainment purposes only. In short, calm the fuck down. It's just a podcast.
All right, and we are on episode number 30. It is 200 days until the man burns as of this recording. I wonder how this recording sounds, by the way. I'm experimenting with a different mic right now, and I'm not going to record the whole thing and then record the whole thing again. So this is the travel mic that we were planning to use at the last burn that we didn't get around to, and that I ended up using a couple of times on my trip to San Francisco, which I just returned from a couple of days ago. And what an amazing trip, by the way. What an amazing experience. The last time I went to San Francisco, it was kind of heavy. It's kind of a heavy, emotionally, kind of like a heavy thing. I was staying with a girl that I was seeing, but then between the time that we made plans to see each other in San Francisco and me stay with her and, me actually getting there, we kind of cooled down a bit. Nothing bad happened. We're still, wonderful friends. Everything is great. It just kind of cooled off. What that's like, I'm sure, for those of you who have dated. But yeah, and just happened to also be that during that weekend, my ex-girlfriend was in town, and then all my friends who I was supposed to meet up with, one of whom was music editor Navjeet, had partied themselves out. So by the time I got there, there was just nothing happening. It was just a weird weekend. But this time was just amazing. I had such a fabulous time in San Francisco. Got to spend some time just exploring the city on my own. Which, by the way, if all of this really is a computer simulation, like many scientists are starting to subscribe to, or at least being very public about their subscription to said idea of reality being a computer simulation, San Francisco is the city that makes you really believe it. It's that whole city is a computer simulation. It's you're moving from district to district that has its very own distinct personality, and every bar you walk into feels like you're at a Burning Man theme camp. I mean, it's a pretty amazing city. I never get tired of going. And I got to spend some time over at Burning Man headquarters, which is such a cool office, by the way. And I don't know why I didn't expect it to be such a professional office. I realized the minute that I walked in what an incredibly silly idea that was in my head, that for some reason it would look like a theme camp. But no, it's a very professional office. I would liken it to, inspired by Pixar or one of the other many tech-type offices in Silicon Valley and San Francisco that are, more open, breaking some of the rules about how an office layout is supposed to be. There's all kinds of, posters on the wall, photos. I had a tour from Iris, who you will hear an interview with in a near future episode. Might actually be the next one, where she will talk about our regional network, the Burning Man regional network all over the world, and of the global leadership conference that is coming up, the GLC over in San Francisco. That's coming up in April, which I fucking can't go to. I'm so upset. I wish I could go, but I can't go. Apparently, I was on the nomination list to go, but I couldn't. I can't, because I am in a burner wedding that same weekend. I am a groomsman in my friends Mark and Lana's wedding, which is being held at the Fire Garden, Burner Avenue. God, man, seriously, all of my social circles are burners at this point, aren't they? Burners and rappers. Those are my two worlds. It's rappers and burners. And every once in a while they cross paths. Burner rappers. Kiyoshi was a burner rapper. It's kind of funny. Anyway. So yeah, it was a really great weekend. I got to interview Iris. I interviewed Steven Raspa. He of Billion Bunny March fame. I'm sure you've seen him with that wonderful long beard that wraps around his neck. What else did I do? Also did another impromptu interview with a couple of good friends who work at this really amazing company, and it's a conversation about what it's like to take Burning Man and really implement it into a professional setting. A bunch of scientists that are all burners and work together. Pretty amazing stuff. So there's some really cool episodes coming up. So that was a really fabulous trip. I love San Francisco. Really had an amazing time. Today's show, however, is with some of the crew from Dusty Poon Saloon. We're going to take you back to the playa. In future episodes, we're going to get into some business. But today, it's probably going to be a lot of conversation about the playa. Today's episode is with the amazing theme camp, Dusty Poon Saloon, as I just mentioned. And we had 3 people in the Burner Podcast studio that sat in on that interview. 3 of the original peeps that brought this amazing camp together. Dusty Poon, I'm sure... I imagine if you run into it, you remember it's got those like cowboy swinging doors, and you can take shots of whiskey there, and they have really some great parties. They also do the buffing. I don't know if you've seen that before. At some of the parties, like you lay down and somebody buffs your back. Like it's a really warm and welcoming and fun atmosphere. And today we got to sit down with Ben, who would tell you his playa name is Beacon. Apparently that's not correct. He gets corrected by his cohorts. He is also known as Turtleneck. We're going to get into some of that conversation. Lucy, her voice is going to be the easiest to figure out because it's the only she in the group. And Chuck, a.k.a. Chuckles, a.k.a. Sheriff Meat Sweats. We sit down with these 3 fabulous individuals from Dusty Poon Saloon to talk about the background of how this amazing camp came together, how these fabulous people became friends, and what kind of stuff they're into on playa and off playa. And it's a really calm and wonderful and enjoyable conversation. I had a really wonderful time with these people, just relaxed. And that sound that you're going to hear a few times, that's the sound of, it's the whiskey, I believe, that we're popping open. So we proceeded to get just a little bit tipsy with Dusty Poon Saloon. So that's today's episode. It's just titled Dusty Poon Saloon. Let's just get right to the point. I go by Mr. Arash, even though nobody calls me Mr. Welcome to Burner Podcast.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with the balls and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name, and it felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no name.
So before you guys were coming over, I was like conversing with myself about how this one is either going to end up being like one of my great shows or like just like a terrible one. And I don't know how that's going to play out because long story short, I don't know what level of hippie woo-woo you are accepting of. But I've been going through like chakra cleansing meditations and noticing like changes in the way that I'm kind of like experiencing the world. And so the one I did last night was a throat chakra cleansing. And Tanasi, our online editor, was actually saying, like, I'm really curious to see what happens with you on that because, like, I'm a talker already. And so getting that one, like, I wonder. So what's been happening today is I've been talking people's heads off all fucking day. So
Okay.
I have 3 people here to talk about this Spoon Saloon, but I am talking like the entire time.
Sweet.
So what is the chakra? What chakra are you talking about?
The throat chakra.
Throat chakra.
Yeah,
okay.
that one's connected to. I'm assuming you've been around enough hippies to get
Yes.
basic verbiage.
The basics,
Yes.
yeah. I thought it said shocker. I was like, what is
Shocker.
like gargling mouthwash.
We're either into it or we make fun of it.
Totally. Yeah, that is definitely, I think, like my favorite thing about our community is that, like, yeah, that could totally be your thing. And then we're totally going to make fun of it.
Yeah.
But we can totally respect it at the same time.
We're not going to kick you out. We're just going to heckle you.
Yeah. And you know what? That's one of the big things, too, that I've discovered on my, like, spirit walks. We won't say, you know, in regards to how, but generally, no, we can talk about anything. But yeah, a lot of times, like, the message that seems to over and over come back from the other side is, like, have a sense of humor. Like, just laugh. Like, it's not a big deal. Stop taking yourself so seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Go play.
That's a good message.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
And so I think that, like, that ties in perfectly to speaking to Dusty Poon Saloon.
Right on.
You couldn't have said it better. Just wrap it up. So don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah. Let's start with going around the room and say your name and I guess sort of like one interesting fact about your connection with Dusty Poon so that the listeners can kind of adjust to your voice.
All right. Well, my name is Ben on Playa. Some people call me Beacon. And my connection with Dusty Poon Saloon is that I started going to Burning Man in 2000. It was my first year. And like many people, I had to take a lot of years off after that because of college. And started recruiting one friend at a time. So I think, Chuck, you joined me on my third or fourth year when we got Chuck a birthday ticket. And it just continued to snowball. So that's kind of my connection to Dusty Poon Saloon. And, you know, a bunch of friends decided to do something more than just show up.
Yeah.
I'm Lucy, and my connection to the Dusty Poon is, it's complicated. I am in charge of the finances of the Dusty Poon and ordering people around. And actually my first year at Burning Man was with Chuck when Ben got me and my husband, him and his wife and everybody pitching for tickets for our wedding. So that's how we celebrated our honeymoon. It was Burning Man 2009.
That's awesome.
My name is Chuck. I go by Chuckles. I go by Sheriff Meat Sweats as well. And P.S. for the record, Ben has made his name up, his playa name, which is a total
That's
illegal.
Yeah.
A guy that's been going so long as him, he does have a playa name. It's actually called Turtleneck, which you could imagine why.
He'll show you if you
But yes, so let's make that clear that his name is not
show.
Beacon, it's Turtleneck. But yeah, so I years ago when it was 2009, I was recently laid off and fired from my job and kind of just drifting along, and Ben Harvey over here said, you know what, I got something for you. Here's a Burning Man ticket while I was unemployed and broke. And I said, well, fuck it. This is happening. So scrounged every single little thing I could together to make it out there. And it's been quite a little journey. After a year of just picking the jaw off the ground, kind of going to the big hippie rave party out in the desert, definitely wanted to tear it up the next year out, and that's when we started Dusty Poon Saloon in 2010, and then it's been going ever since. So
Your second year on Playa.
Second year on Playa, we brought our little theme camp together. Yes, that was our
started
start.
off really small. We were really tiny. I mean, we had like 2010.
Started off small. Had a stripper pole. You know,
What else can you bring?
the typical ways that theme camps get started. We're gonna make a stripper pole.
And
We'll have the only one on Playa. Yeah, right. So, so that's kind of how it started. But then it's been more of a creative journey kind of ever since, and we've all kind of grown and matured in life. Yet we have yet to mature at Burning Man as far as, you know, having a good time. So, but we've gone all out every year it gets bigger and bigger. So
How many people were in that initial group?
We had 11, I think. 10 or 11?
Yeah.
yeah, 11 in our initial group. We were kind of friends with another camp that was next to us that had a mutual friend in our camp.
Porta potty pigs.
Yeah,
Porta pigs.
called the Porta Potty Pigs. Best shitters on the playa. That's
Yes.
their motto. So it's good to, it's fun camping next to the best shitters on the playa. But yeah, small group, 11 people. I think the next year we bumped it up to about 20 something.
Yeah, I mean, we started off really, the whole idea was that we wanted to give back to the community, and so it was just the 10, 11 of us, I think, and then it's just kind of escalated from there every year.
Mm-hmm. Now this past year we had close to 60.
Yeah, close to 60.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
so
So so you guys, all of you, your initial introduction to the community was through Burning Man itself.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And then and each of you after 1 year out there. I mean, it's on the same timeline, right? Am I
Yeah.
getting this correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
1 year. Okay.
2009 was
our first year.
our first burn
Yeah.
together there.
And when we came back together with the same group of friends, essentially, I think we only added a couple people. We decided that we wanted to do something. And that's when we did like our stripper pole dance floor.
Did the intention exist for it to eventually become as big as it has?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
What did you think it was going to be in like 5 years?
No, didn't think past each burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. I don't think any of us really set out to create, you know, a long-lasting camp that keeps going year after year, where you start to not know the people in the camp,
That
which
was
is where we are now.
now, yeah. This was the first year where it was
Yeah.
definitely kind of like, wait, who's this? Who's that? And
Well, I mean, and our springboard to becoming a much bigger camp was 2012 Utopia.
no, I think it was the burn, and then we went to
Yeah, we went to Burn, and it was a little disorganized in 2010.
2011.
2011, 2011,
we did the bar. That's
Yeah.
the first year that we did the
the
bar.
Dusty Poon Saloon.
And we did the poontang,
Yes,
the drinks.
but then we went to Utopia and we missed 2012 Burning Man.
Yep.
So we had all this energy built up from not going to Burning Man in 2012, and saying, you know what, we need to like release this creativity and fun that we missed the burn in 2012.
None of you guys went that year?
None of us went. We had a bunch of other campers
pregnant.
went. Yeah, she was pregnant. You know, yeah, excuses, right? And when we went to Utopia 2012, we kind of really polished up our image a little bit more. Kind of,
Well, it was a little bit of a shit show, I think, towards
Yeah.
Utopia.
yeah, but we still that was when we were like, all right, now we're gonna really kind of blast this theme camp off at Burning Man moving forward, because we always used to have little cool, couple carports set up, some shade structures, this and that, some little swinging doors, but then it matured just into a
2013.
lot more with big structures and
Where'd the name come from?
That's a good story. It was actually my wife, Erin, and Chuckles and I were all sitting at, was it True North? Is it the bar?
yeah, somewhere up in North
That's
I saw
Park.
a guy get shot in the ass there
Oh, nice.
Nice.
with an actual gun. Side story. I would say that.
Well, that didn't happen that night. But, so we literally were sitting around the bar and we were trying to come up with the most ridiculous names for theme camps, because I really appreciate some of the just, obscene, silly things that are out there. And we were just rapping off different names, and I think Aaron came up with like the Dusty
Dicks or something.
The Dirty Poon, and then the Dusty Poon, and there's like Dusty Poon Saloon. And we literally thought, because again, we weren't setting out to build a lasting theme camp necessarily, but we thought, well, we'll just do this 1 year, and then next year will be some other asinine name. And but we haven't. We've failed to come up with a better name.
Yeah.
But we love it now. DPS.
Yeah, that the name for sure is one of those things that, I mean, you could be anywhere on Playa. I mean, we've seen other poonsters, as we call ourselves,
But that's what we call the followers.
they've met random bartenders up in like Lake Tahoe, and they're like, Dusty Poon Saloon, I fucking love you guys. Like it's like a name recognition thing that's, we didn't ever expect it to be like that, but it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. It's funny.
Yeah.
Did the theme of the camp come from the name?
It basically
Yeah.
did. We liked the name, so then we're like, well, it's got to be something with a bar and Western sounds.
And
about
whiskey.
right.
We really
And whiskey.
really like whiskey.
And then we really like the name Poon Tang.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, well, Tang and whiskey. So
Yeah.
everything it really did trickle down from the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because it kind of looks. I don't know. For some reason, whenever I've been at the camp, I am reminded of this is something that doesn't actually exist, but like an old like silent movie western. But for some reason, I expect like a porn scene to like bust.
Very nice.
I think I actually was out there. You had a birthday on Playa this year, right?
Every
I
year.
did, yes.
year,
That was
yeah.
my birthday is on Playa every year.
I want to say I was there, but I can't say for sure.
It was a breaks night we had, just some DJs come in and play. And it was actually a good night. We had the flamethrower and stuff, so.
That must be a really cool experience, celebrating your birthday on Playa every year.
It's, I mean, I feel bad for people who don't have their birthday on the Playa, because, I mean, it used to be, I think, a little bit better. Now, I feel like I go into the Playa with a lot of responsibility now.
Oh, yeah.
And, but back in the days when my first burn, my second burn, like, that was like, when you're kind of, gimme,
Pull the birthday
you
card
know,
all week
yeah,
long.
yeah. But it's still one of those things where there's just so much love out there, and
Every year on Playa, we got to follow Chucky around.
Yeah,
Because it's his birthday.
that's another burden.
ducklings.
That's the burden of a birthday, and this is why I think it's not as special or great anymore. Is that you have to? It's herding cats.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to hang out with you for your birthday, but everyone wants to like, do you know what it's like to try and get like, I mean, maybe like 27, 28 people at a camp on a bike to go from different thing that you want to do, but everyone's telling you to do this and do that.
I forgot my flow light.
Yeah.
Chuck has like major ADD on Playa, so he'll be like, no, this way. No, I hate this place. Let's go here. No, everybody back on their bikes. We're going over here.
Yeah.
Most people.
So yeah, it's a little frustrating, but you get a lot of free drinks.
Really? Oh,
That's crazy. So let's do this. We go back to your first year. What was it? And let's start with you, Ben.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment that you were out there and you thought like, yeah, I'm stuck. I'm coming back every year.
Well, my first year being 2000, I went with one of my high school best friends, and it was his second year. And yeah, I mean, it was literally the moment I got there. It was just, you know, like Chuck said, my jaw hit the ground, and just, I think it was actually jumping on a trampoline when I finally hit me that this is like everything that I want, and you know, more than I can imagine.
What's everything though? Like the play, the arts, the music?
I love the play. I love the people. I love that there's something fun around every corner. Like, I like to climb. I like to jump on things. I like to swing on things. I like to, you know, and it's all there, and it's all for anybody who wants to get involved. You know, and of course, music, dancing. I like to party, so it's got everything I look for in a party. Great people.
Yeah. It's definitely a nice place if you don't feel like growing up.
Yeah, and that's a big. I mean, I can vouch for all three of us here in this room that we're the ones that keep saying we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. I can safely say that we have other influences in our lives that don't necessarily allow that. But we always have that itch to go back. And again, I wouldn't go back to Burning Man if it wasn't fun and amazing. But what we kind of go back for now is everything that we dread about doing for a theme camp. Is like getting it together. Like we really like doing that. Like we really like putting the weight on our shoulders and making it happen and getting it there and making it like, and that's what brings me back now. Like, I love that what we do as a camp is more of a experience for people. Like, I mean, I can get into this and get into our philosophies on this, but again, it changed from like, oh, we can go out and stay up till sunrise every single morning and take, and enjoy all this. But now it's about providing for like our family and friends and our camp, and then providing for everybody else too.
Well, luckily for you, we have another hour to kill. So tell us about some of those philosophies. Was there a year that it shifted where you're like, all right, you know what? I'm sure it's still fun. Like, you're enjoying being able to contribute to the community. But was there a year that you remember, like, this was a moment where you realized, like, all right, something's shifted. I'm here and I have responsibility to the community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the last couple, I think it depends on when you ask us. Like, we're very excited, and then after the burn, we have a moment of like, fuck this, we're not doing this. I mean, it's so fun, and we love having our camp and having the setup and having our parties, but it is definitely so much work. And the last 2 years of Burning Man, I feel like I get home and I look at pictures and I'm like, oh, there was art there. I didn't see any of that. You know, I mean, you're really tied to the camp.
I think for me, one of the moments was I have a terrible memory, so don't quote me on time frame, dates, years. But it was the year that the first year we had our little dinky swinging doors, and it was the first year that the Rangers came by and said, you guys need to deal with the bikes in the road. You know, and then someone like dragged me out to the road because I was like busy, like just doing things in the camp.
It was crazy.
And they dragged me off the road to look back at the party, and there was multiple art cars blocking the way. There was bikes everywhere. I looked down like at the, we like to market ourselves. We had, our marketing machine out in the corner, like hollering at people
on a megaphone.
I looked around and it was like, holy cow, this is a really cool party. And I think that's when it slapped me in the face, was like, this is a lot of fun. Let's do it again.
Well, the year,
that was 2013.
But the year it kind of took that like stepping stone to becoming an actual theme camp was the 2011 Burning Man. I think when we really stepped up our game with the large stereo speaker and the iPad as our resident DJ, throwing down some hot tunes. System. Yeah. And then we brought the pictures, because we always look for something that wasn't available at Burning Man. It's really hard to find that. It's hard to be like, there's no fucking bowling alley. No, there is. It's over here. There's no this. Like, you can find, if you look hard enough, you can find something what you're looking for. But we're like, you know what? No one has a Western photo booth, like an old-fashioned Western photo booth, like that you go to a carnival for and get your, all dressed up.
Someone's gonna blog about this and tweet about it,
but like no, like I've never seen one.
We knew.
So we were like, we got it. We got our niche, and that's when we brought our photo booth for the first time, and that was like our giving back to the community. That was like our original thing, other than the bar and booze, but like
and
our original.
Stars. We originally
and we had these little like wooden laser cut stars. But
I think for me, like one thing, like Chuck was saying, we were looking for something different on the playa, and the Western theme. I agree with Chuck at the time. But for me, it was really about having a camp that invited people in. Because as someone who wasn't fully in the burner scene, I would go to Burning Man and I'd see all these, great parties, but you'd show up and I didn't know whose party it was, and no one welcomed me, or I'd show up to these amazing sound camps that like some DJ is clearly going off and no one's there. I call them the broken down parties. And so I was like, I don't want that. I want a party that is hosted. Where when you get there, someone offers you a drink. Someone tells you what's going on. Someone invites you to the things to touch and feel and play, or take the pictures and the buffing station. So that was what really, that's what I got off on, was having a camp that was like
full service,
hosted, and had service and was friendly.
And that's kind of always been our thing. We try to be really welcoming to everybody, drinks, buffing. We have a lot of stuff going on in the camp.
That's one thing I think Burning Man, and unfortunately, a lot of it's getting away from, because I feel like in my earlier burns, I felt a little bit more of you stop in a camp that's open, and no one's even, what do I do here? What's going on? Not just one that's closed down and you randomly drift into it one night, but like one that's actually open, and they don't really offer you, hey, come try this, come do this, let me show you this, take this. Take
this beer. Burning Man, I feel like most of Burning Man is forever hazing you. It's forever pleasure. and that is true. Like that's Dusty Poon. Like every time I've been there's always been a much more like warm and welcoming feeling. It just, as you were describing that story, it just made me think of this moment where I was looking for a friend of mine in another camp, and I was just like walking around wherever
aimlessly.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know where I'm at. And it's like it was Wednesday, and I hadn't showered, so like the longer you go from like default world, the more like ready to explode you are.
Yeah.
Some asshole like comes up and says, "Hey, what are you looking for? What do you need?" I'm like, I'm just looking for something. Yeah, you can't walk around here. And I mean, this is the closest I've ever come to cold cocking somebody. Like, I can walk around where the fuck I want, asshole.
Not in your RV. Like, come on.
But that's interesting though. That was a very specific intention that you set to create a more warm and welcoming atmosphere, because it is a very subtle difference in between. Like, and of course, there's lots of friendly camps out there.
Oh yeah,
Tons, plenty.
But you're right. Yeah, there is that sense of like we're gonna actually make it our mission to go out and find people and grab them, and bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you had do you have any interesting stories of like somebody getting pulled in and their life changing?
We have lots of interesting stories. I'm sure we can tell some of them. I mean, we have a lot of people that come in for like, we do have a lot of great campers. Our campers are awesome. Like, from like a friendly standpoint, we all have the same mentality. We don't have one person in our camp that's like, doesn't belong there. Yeah. And I think that's, we have a lot of people, but they're all people that have been vetted by people that we are been in our camp for a while. And they're like, you would be a great fit to come to this and do this.
They know the drill when they come.
Exactly. And so they're kind of prepped by Lucy busting their balls to pay dues early. And they're like, what the fuck am I paying money for? I don't even know where the fuck I'm going right now.
For money.
This is my first burn, and this chick's asking me for $150. And what the fuck is going, what? I don't, really? Yeah. So like they get a little prepped, and then when they come in, it's just.
Well, let's get into that. So, how does the preparation work? Let's say, like, I am interested in joining Dusty Poon. I don't really know anybody. Like,
well, first of all, you got to get sexed in.
Okay.
Okay. Right off the bat. Okay. That's to even break.
I can handle that.
All right.
Is the lube provided, or am I
no, dry on playa.
That's real raw.
I think this is the first year where we kind of sat down and we decided that we were going to have a limit on how many people. We said 50.
But you had 60?
Yeah, we had 60.
So we say 50, but we really meant 60. And really, I think the planning, what people don't realize, what makes it so difficult, is the planning process starts with the funds, right? We have to collect the dues, and then that's where we see where we are financially, what we can do with the setup, what we can do with the alcohol, what we can do with the bandanas. All that stuff costs money.
If you need a fundraiser.
We do.
We've only done one fundraiser.
One and a half, like two, little mini one.
We did one for Matt Patterson, but we did one fundraiser last year. But in the past, we haven't done any fundraisers. It's all been based on dues. And our whole thing is that we've always charged the least amount of dues as possible. We don't want people to feel like,
they're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Have you researched like other camps' dues as well to kind of see how it?
We've asked around a little bit, and
they seem high.
Yeah, we've heard of camps doing like $300, but the most that we've ever done was this last year. I think
200, but it was early, late.
Well, we started off with 125, and then what I did was I implemented like a late fee because it's impossible to get people to give you your money, and you need the money to do the camp.
Start building and start buying.
Not necessarily a late fee, but tiers.
Yeah. So I did tiers, kind of like the old school Burning Man tickets. So it went up to 200, but I don't think anybody ended up paying.
The old school Burning Man tickets, remember that? Buy them early, you get them cheap. You're like, it's August 1st, shit, I better buy a ticket.
We were bringing it back, hint, hint. So that's kind of how we start, is from there, and then what people don't realize is that a big chunk of our money is the bandanas, and so we try to get those ordered like right away, and then we kind of filter from there to see what we need. And every year we've added something to the camp, like the structure, different things that we've put out, the cactus,
lighting,
lighting. Like every year we've.
Well, before I even get into like paying dues, like what is the vetting process before I come in? Is there questions that are asked? Or?
So I mean, like I said before, like we don't really have an open enrollment. We don't sit there.
I think we struggle on this.
Well, we have a lot of people that hit us up to camp with us. A lot of them, like constantly on our Facebook page. Hey, are you guys taking campers? Are you guys taking campers? It's obviously hard to be like, we're full, but it's more of a we kind of it's really referral based. To be honest with you,
we don't take strangers.
Yeah,
friends
and then we're not like cut off like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we have a lot of friends that like we've been doing this with. I mean, I would say Burning Man straight festival scene years ago that have kind of just followed through. So, and it's kind of just branched out from there. Someone just says, hey, I got someone who I know. I don't even know them that well, but I know they're going to fit right in. They're burners. They love it. They're down to help. They got some creative ideas. So we're kind of like...
There's definitely some people, too, that I think that have come like through our camp that we've sort of actively solicited, or at least I did, where I was like, oh man, like that dude knows how to build.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. And I think he likes our camp already, so let's make sure we lock this one down. And there's like a handful of some of our, like the newer people in our camp that have now been with us for a few years that have really, and they're the reason that we stepped up. That we finally got, better talent, better resources.
But we've never had somebody camp with us that nobody knew them, that they were just, it's usually friends of friends or people that are inviting, because we want the camp essentially to still be...
Well, who took a poop on our tent?
Yeah, we have a mystery pooper. We've had 2 mystery poopers.
Okay, well, hold on. Tell me about the pooper on the tent.
We don't know.
We don't know.
All right.
I can tell you woke up.
Woke up one day, I turn around, and there's the biggest
shit you've ever
turd.
seen.
I mean, this was like someone...
It wasn't even human.
It was
a horse.
It had a lot of complex carbohydrates and a lot of nuts and seeds in it, but it was the largest shit I've ever seen.
And about a 3-foot skid mark down the back
of our carport, and I'm like,
of the bar, back of the bar.
I'm like,
someone must have ran into the camp and just took a shit behind our bar.
We're always near the porta potty, so we must have been on the way. They were on the way and just.
Wait, this was on the tent.
Yeah,
on the back side of our carport.
Okay,
which is a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, but it must have just kind of like.
Oh,
it came out, slid down the tent.
Did it projectile out of the tent?
I don't. It was
solid.
I mean, it was that big on like the whole pile. Like this.
For the listeners,
this person had to go.
It was bigger than it was.
It was huge.
Bigger than a couple of fists.
Is it bigger than a couple of fists?
Yes, bigger than a couple fists.
Then
massive.
Utopia, someone took a shit behind one of our tents.
Yeah, so
I don't know what
we're thinking that we have a mole or something in the Dusty Poon Saloon that we thought we knew everything, but I don't know. But
Trifecta a couple of years ago, our friend Dominic had built their little pyramids, and somebody took a shit in one of the pyramids.
No way.
Yeah.
See, I'm starting to hear a lot.
Cool.
I'm starting to hear a lot of
shitters.
A lot of shitter stories of random shits and poops being taken at Burning Man at camps. Well, so, I mean, performance art, it's awesome. Yeah. It's fucking cool and funny, but it sucks to clean up.
Arash, you touched upon it when we first got here and actually listened to one of your podcasts where it's like, we're this community where we kind of accept what other people do. Yeah. And I kind of want to ask our community... should we accept this as well?
People should. No, I think this is one of those.
This is one of those radical inclusion, but asterisks.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure, the argument on radical inclusion, all of it, is that you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not hurting somebody. So, as far as I'm concerned, if I got to clean up your pile of shit, you have now hurt my time. You've hurt my psyche. Now this is something that is frozen into my memory as I'm trying to eat dinner later tonight. That's not acceptable.
And pretty much every person in the camp came out to look at it.
Yeah.
It was the one who took this shit. We all saw it.
And just to imagine our one camper, actually Lucy's husband, Rob Mills, who has a gag reflex like a trigger, like a gun trigger. He gets a board, scoops it up, and he's running across to the porta potty with this massive dump on the end of this board. And there's just it's 2:00 in the afternoon. There's people buzzing all over, and he goes and just flicks it down into the fucking shitter. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, don't even ask. Just walks out.
So if you're thinking about starting a fan camp, you might want to really think about
The mystery shitter.
The mystery playa shitter. You'll never know where he's going to strike next. What is okay? Let's. What
Sorry,
other
off
kind of
topic.
interesting? No, that's completely on topic. What other curveballs have you guys been hit with?
Well, someone almost got hit with our pole that was holding up our lights.
Yeah. Oof.
We could have hurt someone really bad this
that was
year.
Bad. I never thought we'd be the camp that had a failed device.
Yeah.
That we did, and it came flying up. It was about a 20-foot tall.
So we have this past year we had a pole that reached about 20-25 feet up in the air, nice solid galvanized steel pole that was holding all of our shade structures onto it. And I was the dumbass putting it up that pounded the threads because you had to thread it together to another pole in order to make it so tall. And I pounded the threads and fucked them up. So then we tried to put them back on and we got it on there, but it wasn't holding on nearly as many threads. So I'll take a little blame for it.
I think something snapped.
Yeah, but a wind.
Snapped.
I mean, you saw this year the wind was just insane,
It was and the cable was just rubbing and rubbing. And
No, well, we
we
just
knew, and it's
we just had
In the middle of the party.
Yeah, but in the middle of our party, I mean, there's hundreds of people there, and it snapped. But luckily, the shade structures that were on it were so tight that it actually bounced and held it up about 10 feet in the air, so it missed it. No one got hurt.
Oh wow!
But of course, in typical Burning Man fashion, 50 people got on the job, unhooked it, threw it in the back, and just still kept raging. They're like, fuck it, let's do it.
When you guys initially started building, and that's always been the question that's been on my mind, like, was the thought in your head of, I might, not build something quite so sturdy and somebody might get hurt?
We have really good builders. I mean, our guys are...
We have a couple, we're all builders, but we have some of our, guys that know how to do
Right, that you would actually let build
stuff,
your house,
yeah.
not just your camp.
And not only that, Jason, Tony, they're kind of perfectionists in their own way, so they definitely go that extra mile. I mean, if you just look, one of our campers actually has an art car, Godzilla art car. I don't know if you've ever seen it out there, but you look at how just well built that is. I mean, you can just trust the guy. He really knows what he's doing. So,
I mean, how can you not trust a guy just by looking at his art car?
yeah, right. It looks safe.
You're in.
Touche. So let's go back to sort of like what happens as it's building up to a Burning Man. So you're collecting their dues. It looks like that's the very first thing that happens.
Yeah.
So I've paid you my money.
Yeah.
Next, what happens?
Well, kind of leading up to it, I mean, obviously, there's leads. There's I think every year kind of one or two drop out, a couple new get invited in, but there's 6 to 8 leads, and we start thinking about our
What
structure.
departments do you have leads in?
Well,
Finance and everything else. Lucy's really good at doing the money aspect, and we're really good at asking her for money to go get stuff. But
we got bar, we have move,
I do the bar.
we have
bar, moop,
DJs,
money,
promotions.
music,
We kind of, I mean, there's...
costumes.
I would say that there's 4 of us that kind of are the main, and then we have Jay who does the art for the bandanas, and then the guys in charge of the build, the structure. Chuck does the application with Jay and all that stuff. Ben just bosses everybody around.
You guys reach out.
Do you guys as leads ever get into disagreements?
Never.
Actually, the 3 leads that are in this conversation have had very few disagreements, but we've had, over the years, some people, people have different opinions about the direction of the camp, and there's definitely been drama, and, not really amongst people in this room, but some of our...
To be honest with you, we, at all avenues, we try to bring it to a vote on any kind of fork in the road that we come to. But sometimes we just say,
fuck it,
we're the powering leads, we're going to do it our way. And it's our way or the highway, which I know really isn't the absolute best way to do it, but sometimes it's just the way to get it done.
Well, and also it's tough to get 40 people to, someone's like, oh, that sounds cool, because every idea sounds cool. Like, oh, that sounds cool, but it's like, well, hold on, you didn't hear about all the reasons, all the things that come along with that.
Yeah.
And if you haven't really kind of thought through it all, because basically if we put out a vote, people would say yes
You
to
can't do
everything.
that. You
And we
can't.
can't do everything.
You can't do that. You can't. You can't ask a camp of 40, 50 people to do a vote. I mean, it's going to be so divided. You have to really have a couple of people who make the main decisions and just kind of filter it in there. Otherwise, everybody has a different opinion of how things should be done. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it feels to me I have a feeling I'm going to start classifying these more and more as I do more and more of these shows. But it feels like you kind of have like more like the family camps, which is kind of like where you guys are at, and then you have like maybe like the larger, more
Business
republics.
camps.
Yeah.
You're right. Like it's more like it runs more like a business, and
Yeah.
like, you can totally apply like through their website or whatever.
Yeah.
And not know a single person.
We've talked about it, just taking campers, because one of the reasons we don't want to take on strangers and stuff, one is because I think part of like our welcoming vibe is that we do love and know each other, and we can kind of we're all clicking.
We want the camp to be comfortable when we're not having the party. You know what I mean?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But we've talked about just taking dues, and but I don't want people's money. I want people's help.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and if you just want a place to camp, there's lots of places to camp.
Yeah.
Come to and please come to our party.
Yeah, come hang out,
Yeah.
but yeah, again, it's we're more of the family kind of style camp,
And during this period, what interaction is happening with VMware? So you guys have like collected dues. You're kind of communicating with leads.
We usually put out Chuck usually does the application with Jay.
Yeah, so we do. Well, we've been getting awarded placement since 2011 or something. Yeah, so we started 2012 or
The first couple of years we just didn't.
we just renegated it, kind of. Yeah. But now we've been getting placement, so we've also gotten direct group sales or the direct group sale for like tickets and stuff lately, which is cool. So I think we have a good standing with them. Moop,
we try to be really good
and
about
stuff
that.
like that. So,
Do
but
you have a lot of communication with them, or do you just like know you're in good standing because you keep getting?
I mean, we are for our placer Bravo. Like, there's each year there's been dialogue with.
yeah, he's always been
and
like, dude, you guys.
afterwards we talk, and he seems to give us positive feedback. But I don't know if we have there's a real scorecard out there. Or
Yeah.
know what our standing truly is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're that big of a camp where we need to because we never have to. Well.
We're definitely at a point in our camp where we have to have placement.
Yeah, for sure that.
Yeah.
But we just bring the fire and don't really apply for it.
Don't tell anybody.
No, we did.
Not to put you guys on alert or anything. My very minimal observation of VMware has been that they are much more aware of a lot of things that are going on than they let on.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that they've been watching you. Some people are watching you. They're like, looks like they're shit together.
Yeah.
Well, we did have someone come into the camp this year for
fire.
For the tanks.
For the fire. No, it's funny because they actually I don't know if you've ever applied for having a flamethrower at your camp.
I have not.
It is if you're not the one building it, I mean, they want schematics. They want everything.
Yeah,
and it's
so how does that work? You tell them that I want a flamethrower.
we're bringing a flamethrower for our camp, and they want. I mean, you need to know every single little safety thing possible.
Where did you obtain said flamethrower?
We have one of our camp members who's joined our camp in the past 4 years or so is Greg. He's the man. He brings a lot to the table, and he just said, "I'm building a flamethrower with a gun activated one."
Wow!
Yeah,
a duck hunt gun. So so during the parties you can
shoot the gun and it blasts the flame. Wow. So, but it's funny actually. I mean, instead of filling I know.
Wait, Duck Hunt like the Nintendo game?
Yeah, it was a duck hunt gun, but it was wireless. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
But they got bored. They came in, or the fire people came in to look at it. And I don't even think we were lighting it off, really. And they just saw it. And they're like, hey. And they came in and they said, all right, everything's good. And they let us go. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, man, I thought we were going to just have to not use it. Yeah. But they checked us off. They inspected it, but we didn't even apply for it. So yeah, they know something.
It's pretty amazing how low the fatality rate at Burning Man is.
Oh, my God, I know.
It really is.
Well, we had a camp member break his back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 20 on the balls deep.
Yeah.
Broken arm, broken
We had an
back,
arm and a back
UTIs.
that day. Yeah.
I'll take the UTI claim. I survived it. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, balls deep with a
2013, I think. Yeah. But shit happens.
What
You
happened? Did he fall off something?
Fell.
were you
No,
there
he
when
jumped
they did?
into the ball pit.
Yeah, and
As you
it
should.
was the big balls, and it just separated.
Basically,
and
it was
he
under
fell.
a.
They
it was-
shut it down.
It was under a crow's nest and had
Oh, I
all the
heard
big
about
yoga
this.
balls in, and he fell from the top, and all the balls, instead of breaking his fall, moved out of the way. Bam, right onto playa and just lower back. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that was
bad.
not good.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, it's when I hear stories like that I am grateful at what a pussy I am. I would not do that.
That's me right here.
Yeah.
Not my husband.
Yeah.
I cannot hang out with my husband. My husband.
I'm surprised Rob is not
Yeah,
getting seriously injured.
he's insane. He climbs everything.
Yeah.
It causes me total anxiety. I don't climb anything. I'm so boring. I
Okay.
barely
Strong
get on
gag
my bike.
reflex climbs everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
For no particular reason whatsoever.
And he never wants to go to Burning Man again, but when he goes, every time he has the best
Time of his life.
time.
Yeah.
That's him in a nutshell.
Is he usually the first guy to have a breakdown?
There's been a breakdown.
Yeah.
He normally has a beginning of the week, midweek, and end of week meltdown.
The biggest
There are always
breakdown
spaces
he
in
had was
between.
about his bike.
His bike got
Our
stolen.
first year, 2009, he decided to spray paint his bike green and yellow. But he did put fur on the seat.
First year.
And Ben was like, Burning Man, it's like free love. We don't lock anything
No,
up.
that's not
All
true. I
hugs."
told him to lock his
All
bike.
And this was actually the very first night that we were out on the playa, and Chuck and I were like, holy
You
shit.
can imagine it was like, yeah.
It was crazy. It was a very crazy night. But we went inside the dome, and we came out, and he put his bike underneath the pile of everyone's bikes, and everyone's lifting their bike, and Rob's bike, MIA. And
So-
my husband had like the meltdown of the century, to the point where I just started looking at everybody. I was like, just go. I got this. Like, go. Leave.
What are you saying?
To Rob's defense, his
I'm
bike-
leaving this fucking place. I hate this fucking place.
His bike looked just like the free
A yellow bike.
Yeah,
exactly like a yellow bike.
Somebody thought it was just a playa bike.
Yeah, if they went all the way underneath all of your bikes,
Yeah,
in order to
together.
grab that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, it was
So,
funny.
but the kicker is that like Thursday of the week or something, Lucy's like cross
Oh, no,
playa.
the next day.
The next day.
The next day. Because I had to deal with him, and I was not in a good place, and I had to walk across the playa while the whole time with one bike. The whole time he was like screaming, like, "I hate this place. We're backing up as soon as we get back to camp." And I was like, "Oh shit." So I had to listen to that for like 2 hours. So the next day I got up and I was like, I'm just going to ride and find look around, see if I can find the bike. And the guy is like riding right towards me on Rob's bike the next day.
Oh my god.
And it got stolen on the other side of the playa.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we got it back.
So, did you talk to the guy?
Oh my god, I had like the meltdown.
He had her meltdown.
Fuck off the bike! That's my bike! He's like, I thought it was a playa bike. I'm like, with fur? I
He's like, I don't know, it's my first time here.
Right, because there's really distinct rules at Burning Man like that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that saved the day.
Burner Podcast.
Hey, so just taking a quick break to tell you, if you guys want to learn more about Dusty Poon Saloon, you can actually go to dustypoonsaloon.com. That's Dusty is spelled Dusty. Poon is Poon Saloon.com. They have information about any sort of events they might be having. Details about the camp, any stuff that we might not. I'm pretty sure we covered everything here, but there's going to be other stuff on there. There's photos and et cetera, all kinds of stuff. If you want to get visuals and get an idea of like these people that you're hearing the voices of, you can go to dustypoonsaloon.com to get more information about their fabulous camp. If you are interested in contributing content to the Burner Podcast blog, please do shoot us a message. Go to burnerpodcast.com. Click on the contact page. I think it's under the about page. The contact page is right there. Send us a message. If there's some essay that you want to write, if there's some comments you want to make, if you want to contribute to the blog in some way, if you have photos you want to share, by all means, shoot us a message, and we will see what we can do about that. Our online editor, Tanasi, We'll be happy to check those for you. So that's over there. And the Burner Podcast hotline, super hot, like desert hot. That's 858-877-3534. Again, that's 858-877-3534. If you have any questions, comments, shoot them over or give us a call at that number, or you can shoot a message at burnerpodcast.com. Let's get back to the Dusty Poon folks.
Welcome home.
You know what? That's funny. Pretty much every episode of the show I've ever done, if we're talking, there's going to be some sort of synchronicity story. Yeah. What are the fucking chances? There's 60,000 people.
Then you found the bike, right?
I mean, so like, what was the lesson? There was like a lesson there somewhere for Rob.
Yeah, we locked that shit up now.
Like yellow.
You know what though? There's something weird about that place that I had it happen to me this year. I was at Ego Trip. And I found like this amazing silver like cuff bracelet. It was like this big. It was on my birthday. I was like, "Oh, happy birthday to me!" And it had like this arrowhead on it. Like it was dope. And I was like, "This thing is so sick." Put it on. Like 3 days later, we're like having a party at our camp, and some chick comes over and she's like, "Hey, did you find that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, that." She's like, "That looks like the one I lost the other night." And I'm like, "Where'd you lose it?" She's like, Ego Trip. And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Out of all I found this on my birthday. And she was like, "You did?" She's like, "No, you need to have it." I'm like, "No, this exchange needs to happen right now. Like, I need to like keep the circle of gratitude going." You know, gave it back to her, but it was like out of all the freaking people there, you were in my camp on the opposite side of the planet and found
Chuck,
it.
he's never heard of the Lost and Found.
I'm like, not that. That thing's sweet, dude. Like cell phone,
Like,
yeah,
I
whatever.
found this awesome bike in the middle of the playa.
The playa provides.
Wait, they have a less than found in Burning Man?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you guys are figuring out placement. Let's get closer to Burning Man.
Yeah.
What's happening? You're getting shit. Is shit in storage? Where's all this stuff?
It
Well,
used to
that's
be
been
at my house
yeah.
for a long time. And then
Yours and Trevor's.
mine and Trevor's, yeah. And so for years it was there. And then we moved it to my warehouse, my business, and so it sat there for our last couple of years. And that's actually where it's sitting now.
That's been our biggest thing, has been the storage, which I think we actually kind of figured out this year.
Yeah.
The key is to buy a really big trailer and stuff all the stuff in there and just leave it there until the next time you need it.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now.
And now you just have, even if someone wanted to say they wanted to bring it to some little small festival or something that, you know, these little spin-off festivals.
We're like, here's the trailer.
Like, here's the, tow it. Everything's in the trailer. You know, all you gotta do is grab a hold of it and take it wherever you want. And
although that's
everything's
how
in
Matt
there.
Patterson lost all of his equipment because he loaded everything into the trailer.
So, well, no one knows who Matt, so we'll go that. So
listeners know Matt Patterson.
Yeah,
right, guys?
Matt Patterson should
Talk
know.
about Matt Patterson on every
He's
episode.
another amazing person who we've gotten into our camp the past few years. So this, he is like the doer of doers when it comes to building, when it comes to making shit happen. Like, Matt Patterson's shit.
Yeah.
I hope you're listening, Matt.
Yes.
So right day before Utopia, we have about what I've heard, $30,000 worth of sound equipment that we've gotten. That is Matt Patterson's sound equipment. He rents it out for small festivals, desert festivals and stuff. And he had it all packed up ready for Utopia, had it sitting ready to go the next morning. Some professional thieves came in and stole it.
Stole the whole trailer.
So the whole trailer, grinded off the lock, shined spotlights on the cameras, and drove it off. So including the trailer, and the trailer was
lights on the cameras.
There were cameras there, and they put spotlights on there so they couldn't see them
the cameras
stealing it. Yeah.
Wow, these guys know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we lost about Matt lost about $30,000 worth of equipment, and the trailer was set up with an air conditioning unit on it that he would live in there during Burning Man. He would live in the trailer once everything was out of it.
Yeah,
So that was pretty bad. Yeah.
But I think if anybody steals our trailer and they open it up, they'll be like, what?
Right, what we have left is not worth stealing.
When you told that, I just randomly remembered, like, my mom, older Iranian lady, had her car broken into, and like they stole all of her cassettes. Remember cassettes?
Yep.
So she was like laughing forever about like they must have like popped these cassettes and you hear this like Iranian.
What the?
That's so
What is
funny.
this shit I stole?
It'd be even better if they got arrested for it. They go to jail for that.
Who knows? But so let's get closer. So let's say we're a couple of months out from Burning Man at this point. You guys are doing logistics.
We usually do, after we collect the dues, the first thing that we do is order the bandanas because they're so expensive and they take so long to get done. And then we usually have 1 to 2 build days where we kind of set everything up to see what we need, what's missing, how it's going to be built, and then we break it back down.
So you build the whole thing. Where are you doing this?
At his warehouse.
Well, it used to be at my house.
Yeah, no,
And
that's-
then last year it was at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we leading up to the 2 build days when we ask all the campers to come by and assist with painting and random stuff. We have like a couple months of just creative. All right, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do different? What are we gonna do to add on to camp? This past year we have our 17-foot blacklight cactus. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
That thing is like so sweet. Yeah. It will shoot flames one day. But yeah, that's like, we got that and we've built onto a whole bunch of variety of things. But then once we have them all written down and kind of semi-built, then it's like, all right, now we need to like piece it all together to make the actual thing. And that's what we do.
I hate that part.
Yeah, that part is, it's hot normally because it's in the summer and it's...
I just hate, I hate pre-doing something.
Yeah.
I've always hated it. I don't want to practice things. Like, the first time I ever guide a tent, I knew I had to practice forever, but I just didn't want to do it because I didn't grow up camping. This is all I got into at Burning Man. And I remember specifically, it was at Poncho, in the middle of the night, my tent is, starting to fly away. And I'm, standing outside in my shorts and, flip-flops, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, all right, I wanted to learn how to guide a tent. Here it is, 3 in the morning.
Right, in the wind.
Yeah,
dead sober.
Yeah, no.
That was bad.
It was may have been on mescaline, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting experience. There's scorpions, can't see the scorpions.
Yeah, yeah. We were at that poncho and got our ass handed to us too.
Yeah,
so.
A lot of people's shit flew away.
Yeah.
A couple of our friends, Poon and Kay, their tent collapsed on top of them, and they just said fuck it.
It's cozy.
Right.
I'm walking by their tent. I'm like, hey, you guys all right in there? They're like, yeah, we're good. Whatever. So you build the whole thing, break it back down.
Yeah, but
trailer.
And we have a lot of our it's with our costumes for our photo booth. So there's a whole section of people that kind of clean them up, get everything ready to rock. So it's more than just building; it's preparation for that.
We send out a survey too to ask people how much space they need, so that we can you're giving how big of a space you're going to get. And we just make sure we're going to fit.
Yeah.
So space on the trailer?
Space in the camp.
In the camp.
Okay.
So, and that's a hard thing to do, is to say, all right, everyone's like, oh, I got a 10 by 10. I got this, that. I got a trailer. I got an RV. It's
plus walking space.
Plus, it's oh, man, that's very stressful before you go to Playa. Because then you get to the Playa and you're like, oh, fuck, how's everyone going to fit here? Or, we got so much space. We had so much space this past year. It was great. But that's a big stress leading up to it too.
We pack ourselves in too. The previous years we did not, so it was how are we going to be little sardines?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were pretty sardined.
So
this past year you were pretty sardine.
No, this last year we actually had space.
I think
it's because we learned how to organize ourselves well.
So it's has there been any part of this that you just kind of instinctively knew?
No.
Well, no, that's not true. Actually, I think all of our roles, Chuck is one of the big reasons that I think we became popular. Chuck's got, he's a friendly guy, and
Chuck
he reaches out to people. He's been one of our good promoters. So naturally, Chuck, he's been good at what he does. And Lucy is a ball buster. It doesn't matter where she is. And so she's great at finance. Honestly, there was a dispute over who was going to be our treasurer, and it was all of us leads were it's got to be Lucy.
And that's huge.
Every penny is accounted for. I think we actually have dues for the storage of the camp, and Lucy just told me that she owes me money. I didn't know.
Damn it!
All right.
So you did the pre-build. All right. So when do you head out?
So that's leading up to that's That's probably the most difficult time of doing the whole theme camp, because no one wants to put the extra time and effort they have aside from getting ready to go to Mars, like to put it into like loading a trailer. Yeah. And you're like, we got the trailer, we rent, like, well, you know, we just recently bought a trailer, but if we're renting a trailer, it's like, we got it for one, like, we can't sit here and have it for a week.
So that was kind of our issue until we saved our money and this year bought a trailer. But before that, we would break up the Dusty Poon into little pieces, and everybody would take a piece.
Yeah,
a piece. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that was getting people to participate in that part of it was difficult.
It's difficult, yeah, to say, hey, come and break your back before you go to Burning Man.
Everyone says my car is packed when they're going to Burning Man.
Yeah,
it's like, how packed is it really?
But the main stuff goes up on trailers. Two big trailers, and then now. So, but yeah, it's still compartmentalized in different people's RVs and stuff, you know. So, but you know, logistics is tough. It's always going to be an issue. The bigger you get, the more stuff you need to haul. So it's, you know, not like hauling those 25,000-pound trailers down some of those passes. So,
what's the first thing that happens when you arrive on Playa?
We start drinking a lot of booze.
Well, it's now going early. It's fun because you gotta go find your place, or like, you know, because you're tired, you've been driving. It's like, okay, before I turn off the ignition, at least I do, I feel like I want to know that I'm turning my car off in my spot. Yeah. So that I don't have to worry about moving it until whenever I feel like moving it. And so you get on Playa, you gotta find your placer, who for us is Bravo, and then they give you your land, and they're like, okay, here's your borders, and it seems like we always show up at night, and so you can't see your borders, and you can't see shit, and there's nothing there. And that's the I think that was the coolest part about it. To me, being a theme camp is getting to go early and getting to see it get built.
Yeah. Kind of being there with the collective group of people with the same mindset too is cool. You know, like, oh, the people across the way, they're all here early to build a theme camp just like us, and like you find the little bars that are open early. And you go and you're hanging out, you're just meeting people that are there doing the same cool shit you are, you know? Yeah. It's not the raver tweaker that you're like, hey, get out of here. Yeah, Friday and Saturday night, the weekend warrior. It's like, no, we're all here with the same mindset. We're all going to get shit done. We're all going to bang our thumbs on some nails at some point. And, you know, so it's pretty cool.
At some point on this show, I'm going to get some of exactly who you're describing to interview, because everybody would have, if you're coming on this show, you're probably part of like the earlier crowd that's like cool, like, and as the week goes on, you see that little by little there's a little more trash on the ground.
Yeah,
like that final weekend, I've just given up trying to really make friends.
Yeah.
It's entirely likely that I'll end up talking to some like Orange County douchebag who's telling me about his yacht party that he's going to fly back to.
Yeah.
So and that has happened twice. So,
have you gone on the yacht yet?
I know. I might not talk shit about him on the podcast if he actually invited me to the party. But yeah, no, and you definitely see that. Everybody, you see with like the old schoolers, like a lot of the old timers, like will even leave before that weekend.
Yeah,
I admit that I did that this year because I just had a baby, and it was sort of like I'm only gonna leave for a set amount of time, and I was like, well, the sweet spot for me is the beginning, so I'll just go then. And I left Saturday morning, and people were like, "You're crazy!" And like. After, I think, 8 burns, like, I'll see you later.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that way more about, like, Temple Burn this year.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wanted to sort of, I wanted to experience it, and I wanted to feel emotion, but I had this moment where I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to see all these fuckers in, like, 48 hours. Like, all right, whatever. See you in San Diego.
Yep.
Yeah. So, when do you guys start building, usually?
So, take this year, for instance.
Do you set up your camps first, or do you start building?
Set up our stuff, personal stuff first, get our roofs over our heads. This year was really bad because we had the epic dust storms over the weekend, so I was the only one that was there early.
I didn't show up till Monday.
Yeah, I was there early with several other people, but the wind was just relentless, so we couldn't really do anything. And we're kind of sitting there like, oh, shit, well, this is happening all day today. We're really not going to get anything done. And then there was like a break in the wind in the evening. And Matt Patterson, our beloved sound guy, who when he had his amazing equipment, comes over and he's like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Let's just set up the DJ equipment. And I'm like, you sure? Should we like start? We got a lot of stuff to do. He's like, might as well just have some music. So we like set up the truss system and we get the music done. The wind's blowing like crazy. I mean, it's blowing like. And this dude's so rad that he's like, I don't give a shit that my $30,000 equipment's out here in the dust. And he gets it up. And we just start cranking some like Rage Against the Machine, like and he's like tuning it so it's loud. There's nothing up yet, like in the whole camp, other than the DJ equipment blasting Rage Against the Machine, Tool, and 9 Inch Nails. And literally every single person within like a block radius of us came to our camp and was like, "I'm fucking loving this shit, man." And they just sat there. We had like a little mini dance party. Headbanger ball at our camp where there's nothing else there, just the music. It was like one of my favorite points of this burn. But yeah, normally we do personal, then we just all hands on deck when people, the builders are there, and then all the little touch ups, the props and stuff come when everyone gets there.
When everyone
finally
shows up on Monday, Sunday night, the decorations go up.
Yeah.
Usually the structure is done by then.
Yeah.
Which part of the structure is the biggest pain in the ass?
It depends on what year it is.
The sail shades are a huge pain in the ass. The towers are pretty easy, to be honest with you.
Down.
The sail, the
Carports
shades,
are tedious, in my opinion.
but they're pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, our camp is set up now where
It's easy.
it's pretty easy. It's a breeze.
That was one of the things, like when designing it, people were like, "Oh, that like they come up with these great ideas." It's like, yeah, but that's gonna take like a lot of time to set up. So we really have it boiled down to. It really just like Legos together. So
Yeah.
it's
Modular
relatively
pieces.
easy.
It's all built. All they do is a couple screws and it's done.
Yeah.
So
Duct tape.
whatever.
I think that one of the continuing sort of themes, the connections between like all burners is that when you face challenges, you accept that this is a part of what you're going to experience.
Yes.
And I think that that's like one of the most important things. I remember like my first burn, we were driving up and I was just kind of like noting to my driving partner how the amount of shit that we've gone through just to get to where we are, and like nobody's exploded anybody yet, and like stormed off and been like, I don't fucking want to do this anymore. And that of course happens eventually, but then usually people come back still.
Yeah.
You still power through.
Mm-hmm.
You still find a way to make even your meltdown doesn't end with you like ending a friendship. Like that's pretty rare for that to happen. If it happened too much, we wouldn't have Burning Man.
Right? Exactly.
I wonder, like, from being at your level of having a theme camp, have you faced any challenges that you look at and you're like, you know what, I don't understand that. That one's just bullshit. I want that to go away.
All of our significant others would say, why do you put up with all that bullshit? Why do you do all that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think all of them, you know, I like it. I like
Your wife hasn't been to the burn?
No, she's been to many burns. She's been I think 6 burns now. But I think that she's ready to unplug from the camp and just wander about again like we did the first year.
My husband,
Yeah. There is
solo.
there is a little piece of you that says, you know what, I want to camp out on K with like a snow cone maker and make like Jack Daniel's snow cones like on during midday for an hour and just like enjoy the playa. There's a big portion of us, and I mean that kind of want to go back to the little early days. Maybe, you know.
And my husband's point always is that one of the things is participation, and he's like, Lucy, other camps want us to go and participate in their parties, and we don't get a chance to really do that because we're at our camp so much, you know. So he feels like he wants to participate again.
But on the other end of the spectrum, our camp, we don't require a lot of actual duties during the burn. Like we have one rule the whole week after everything is built, and it's to be at our party on Wednesday day. That's it. And do your role, and we have shifts, and you know, people just do whatever normally, but they always go down great. But that's your one rule. Like you don't have to be. We normally throw like 2 or 3 parties, but you only have to be the one party.
Yeah.
That party.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, our campers love it because it's like I don't have to go and work and do this like a lot of other camps require.
But if you're like when you're one of the leads, there's like structure. Like I'll be walking by, I'm like the sign looks like it's about to fall down.
Yeah,
Hold on,
go get into a project.
I found the drill gun, but there's no battery in it. Where's the battery?
Yeah, so
30 minutes later, it's the screws back in.
Yeah, exactly. We're in someone's RV for an hour. They were out. We're like, come out, like, yeah.
But that actually leads to what my next question was going to be, which is like, what is the kind of stuff that keeps you at camp all week? What is like the things that you totally didn't expect as you were embarking on this journey?
It's always something that you didn't expect. Like 1 year, it's like my trailer. I had an electrical issue. My toilet wouldn't work, and I couldn't run my water, and it was like.
That's personal.
That's personal, right?
Yeah,
but that took a good portion of like 2 half days.
Yeah,
I mean,
it turned out to be the most ridiculously simple.
Like what's camp stuff? Like, what kind of stuff is your husband or your wife like? What are they saying? Like, I'm sick of doing this shit. Like, let's go out and do other things.
My husband goes. I stay home and fly these days because of our baby. I fly out on Tuesday, and he goes up with the guys early, and he builds. He's a good builder. So he builds, and then he breaks down, and then we. In the past, have gotten stuck with carrying a lot of the stuff up there, and so for him, he's like, it's too much,
But as far as what keeps us at camp, I mean, there's a portion of it.
The week.
There's a portion of it that it's just comfortable, and I think a lot of people have that.
Awesome.
Yeah, our camp's awesome. We always have really good drinks. There always seems to be something kind of buzzing about, someone doing something.
Yeah.
So it's like we'll be out and about, and I think we're actually overblowing it because I think we go out and do a ton of shit.
Yeah, that's true.
We always kind of end up meeting back at camp at some point and having a fire or hanging out on our little structure and listening to music and having like little...
Yeah, and there's little mini parties or people are coming around from around the block and stuff and hanging out. But I don't think we're like stuck at camp like some other... No. I know other camps where they don't leave camp. And I'm like, dude, get out there and explore. I think from a standpoint that we do see a lot... Now, don't get me wrong. We like our camp so much that we tend to drink a lot during the day, and that kind of puts a little bit of a... We're like, I'm fucking shit-faced. I don't know. I'm kind of just going to hang out here for a little bit, But I think that's our problem.
Yeah, I think we drink too much of our own poontang.
Yeah, we drink too much whiskey, and, But we get out.
The camp is the problem. It just sounds like you guys like each other too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This isn't a problem. I think Burning Man, like, one of the things that, like, is fun is, like, when you get back, you reflect on, what you did right, what you didn't do right. Like, because you want to be efficient when you're there because your time is so limited and you want to get out and you don't want to have electrical problems. So you start thinking about how can I do it better next year? And then boom, the planning starts again.
You're like, I know how I can do it better. Not have a theme camp. just do what most people do now and just take it all in and fucking... That's what I want.
Out with the bathwater.
Yes. But
I love our camp.
But the enjoyment out of providing is why I do it. I don't do it. I've been to that party before. I've been to a lot of parties before. That's just not that party. It's what we bring, and it's the people that come into the camp are like, dude, you guys have been awesome all week. It's the people that you see year after year after year that come in that have their like bandana that's like 5 years old on their neck still. Like that's the stuff that is why we do it.
Yeah.
It's not, and we'll sit here and bitch and complain about why we hate it.
Ultimately, we love it.
But at the end of the day, we're like, we freaking love it. We love like when we're out on the playa and we just see everyone with our bandanas on. Like we know that you visited our camp, and we always, when we came up with that gift idea, and we've been doing that for a long time now, we're like, what could be the best gift idea? What could people like use? You get something at Burning Man, you're like, cool, yeah, I'm going to throw this away when I get home. Yeah. But it's like a bandana. Like when you get a bandana at Burning Man, you're like, hell yeah, man. Like I need this. Like wipe my armpits, dust mask, whatever I'm going to use, Like, and you see people wearing them, and you're like wearing them how they're supposed to be with like the mustache over the front, and it's rad. I just saw a guy that I know who's Australian who was actually at our camp this year, but he was at our first original Dusty Poon camp way when we had our first bandanas ever, and I seen him. He posts pictures on Facebook. He's like cruising around Australia right now on the west coast of Australia with his Poonster bandana on. Like
that's awesome.
7 years later, and it's so rad that little he probably doesn't even realize it, but it's just, it's cool, you know?
It's fun to make people's day.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's, I don't want to, like, the big sound camps, like, I'm never like, oh my God, I had the most epic time at,
Unless the drugs are really good.
yeah, right. But like, you know, it's never like, oh, I went to Robot Heart that night and it was just so great. Yeah, right, yeah. It's like, no, I'd rather make 100 people's burns than just be a place where thousands of people can see and just come in and be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I like to, like, when people go back, they're like, Dusty Poon Saloon, man, I had so much fun. I stayed there all day during their party. I did not leave. And we have people that will go from the second it opens till we're like kicking them out.
And they're stumbling out. Like, I didn't mean to stay.
Yeah, we're like, no, come on back. So
I usually have an all-day party. It's awesome.
yeah, we normally have the Poon at noon goes until like 8 or 9.
8 or
so,
9.
Yeah.
So focusing on the 20% that's really like it's gonna make their life than the 80% that just
Exactly.
gets a taste of
Exactly.
possibility.
Exactly.
Is there anything that the hell is that? Is there anything you can think of like
Buffalo
that
dragging.
if you were to go back in time and talk to yourselves from 5 years ago, advice you would give?
Don't paint your bike green.
Yeah. Advice I mean,
I like the way it happened.
yeah, I mean we've got it. I mean, we're older too, you know, so we kind of like have had
For
our
yourself.
yeah. All right, well, Lucy's going down in age.
Lucy never ages.
I'm getting older. But I mean, it's one of those things that I think the way that we've learned and the way that we've done it, because it just can't get much better. It's been fun.
It's grown organically and it's been
It's been
perfect.
fun. You know, I wouldn't change anything. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been. I know that everyone who does what we do goes through a struggle similar. So unless you got millions and millions of dollars and you just pay for the theme camp and you don't actually do the work, but from the people that do the work, I think it's naturally kind of organically grown the way it should have. You know.
How has the playa changed in the past 5 years?
Whew.
It's bigger, a lot more people.
Yeah, it's big. A lot more people. It's crowded.
I don't think, people always say that, Burning Man's jumped the shark and it's not the same. And in some ways, there's a lot, there's the Orange County douchebags, but I don't bump into them.
No
that
offense,
much.
Orange County, by the way. We're not talking.
Yeah, we love you, Orange County.
I'm only referencing Arash.
Yeah. A very specific individual.
Right, who has a yacht. So, I mean, I notice that there's probably more people there that some people might say they don't belong, or they're just like, they're just here one time only, bucket list type of thing. But I don't focus on them. There's still just as many awesome people, if not more awesome people, and there's more money into it, and there's bigger, badder, cooler, blinky things, and like it to me, it's just gotten better in a lot of ways. So I love it.
I did, yeah, and I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's changed. Raver retards running around all over the place, this and that. But at the end of the day, I'm not there to make a certain type of people happy. I'm there to make everyone happy. Like, come on in, enjoy it. Maybe you'll have a different perspective on stuff when you leave here, And that's kind of what I think we all want from Burning Man, is to like kind of change our perspective a little bit on how we see things. We go there with an open mind, and you hope that other people. There's always going to be a few people, no matter where you're at, that are closed-minded, that are not going to enjoy themselves.
When have you ever gone to Burning Man and be like, that was awful?
Yeah, right.
It's amazing every time you go.
I know when I'm in the RV, just like getting onto the freeway driving home, and I'm like, oh, I hate that place. God, my serotonin level's at a negative right now. We have a 20-hour drive ahead of us. That's the one time, but
$3.95. So I think we're lucky to be in San Diego.
I think
one of the most beautiful drives.
Yeah. But look at, the way I think the positives that Burning Man has had is definitely, just the art. This is the reason you go there, the creativity, man. That's why I go there. I go to see, like, what rad stuff people are doing.
All your friends that you've made, all your people you meet.
I just can't remember them from year to year.
You guys have any interactions with law enforcement this year?
No.
Actually, I had an interaction with, not the land management people, but basically they've really stiffened up the rules on
The sheriff's department?
Not the sheriffs, but like it was these people coming around talking about like water collection. I remember in years past they actually would say like if it was clean water, go ahead and just pour it on the road because it'll keep the dust down. So when like I was taking a shower out of the back of my trailer, so I didn't have to fill my tanks
Naked. If you want the address in here.
Turtleneck. 4th and C.
And so I had
Only one showing during the week. One shower.
Maybe two.
two this year. So I had 2 ladies walk up and they were saying, you can't shower out here. And I'm like, well, I was standing on my evap pond, and she's like, well, look at that like little sprinkle of water that's hitting your body that's sprinkling beyond the evap pond. And she was right. Like there was like a couple of drops out there on the playa, and I'm like, well, they just hit my body and they left. It's not like it was like really dirty water. I mean, a little bit. And so she went on to talk about sea monkeys, which was really ironic. Anyway, so
Turtleneck.
Why Turtleneck is hanging out.
so if you didn't know, apparently there are little shrimps that live in the playa that every time when it rains and there's enough water, they actually come back to life, and they're basically dormant. Mm-hmm. And I guess I was somehow like stimulating their growth and triggering them, and then of course that droplet's going to dry out. I have no idea.
What are they going to do if they come to life? They consume us all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Are they tasty?
Yeah, right.
Shrimp.
I'm going to live on the shrimp off the playa all week.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, that was the only incident. I think I had that incident. There was the they came around this year with talking about gas cans and how they're supposed to sit on certain, and that one makes total sense. That so just.
But actual law enforcement.
No, we didn't have any.
I always give officers bandanas when they come by, and they love them. I mean, I've never had any.
You guys have a lot of wood.
We have a lot of wood, a lot of wood. I've never really had. I mean, people bitch about and Lucy's
got pulled over
on the way up to Burning Man, but
Mammoth.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. Just be smart.
Well, I don't know. There's that stretch where they're pretty much just looking for any excuse.
To get
anybody over.
I mean, that's very stressful.
But that's a whole other show.
Yes, yes.
So breakdown, not meltdown, but breakdown.
It's actually both.
It's both.
Breakdown is really quick now. It's fast. It's.
I just want to note that Ben showed up late to breakdown.
Okay.
Just note that in there.
I did show up late.
It's easy. It's all done.
You know what it is actually, and
I know what it was.
I think
you're up till sunrise.
That was one thing. At the end of the day, I was bringing the stuff back to my warehouse, so my breakdown continues off playa. Not that that's why I showed up late, but I think
you should get a break from your breakdown.
I think I took a little bit of liberty this year. Yeah. Also, because of my baby, I was only there for 5 nights, so I was like,
the man's a father.
I am stretched.
Why are you giving him shit?
So I pulled the daddy card. And showed up late to breakdown, and I think I still helped.
Breakdown is when we all become ultra assholes, and especially the leads were like, you do this, you do that, rah, rah, and kind of like, you feel bad, but you're like, at the moment, you're just like,
let's fucking get it done.
Yeah, because I now have more responsibility when we get back with the
I think Chuck and I had meltdown in the RV on the way.
Unloading the trailer, this and that. Everyone, I'll be there. Then people are like, I'm still on playa. You're like, so.
See, on Saturday you break down and pack everything up, and then
in previous years it was Sunday, but then we learned that like some people had left on Saturday night or Sunday morning, so now we break down the majority of it on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because people, otherwise you just don't get the help.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to multiple camps that focus on Saturday because they're like, it's just because after the man burns, it's just
we're not the kind of party you're going to go back to after the man burns. It's so.
Yeah.
You don't need to be open.
Although I feel like it's really sad when the camp gets broken down. And you're like, no.
Yeah. That's when you're like, we did all that work for this right now. It's broken down. Oh no.
Well, I'm sad just hearing the story right now.
Yeah, no, it's very sad. But
I don't know, cry fest right here. But you guys, your energies just seem like absolutely consistent. Like, how long have you guys known each other prior to Burning Man?
I've known Ben for about 12-ish years. I've known Lucy 10 years, a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been good friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
we are a lot like family. That's why especially the three of us, like we can talk straight to each other. Like it's and we don't take it personally. So
yeah. And if we one talks shit about the other, then the other one goes to the other person like, fucking so-and-so was talking shit about me. Can you believe that? You know, so. But that's just, it's like, again, it's like a family, and we just, and everything at the end of the day, we just can laugh it off and have a good time. We've never had any ill feelings towards each other. So.
Has there ever been any disagreements amongst your core group about somebody to let in or not let in?
Yeah. There definitely have, but I don't think it's ever that particular issue hasn't been.
It's never been like it's normally always like, you know what, I don't know if I have a good gut feeling about this person, then everyone's like, all right, you don't feel good about them, then they're not making it, you know. It's kind of like we're not like, all right, we need to vote to see if this person's in. It's like, all right, if they're not clicking with everybody, or if there's a reason, then and we never.
Pretty much everyone. If someone wants to bring somebody in, they get in. It's not. I mean, there's.
We give everyone a chance.
Yeah. After they get sexed in.
Yeah, after they get sexed in.
We can survive that. Right?
Yeah, I think we've had people come into our camp and not camp with us after that, and I think it's more of that first time that you kind of interact and stay with our camp, you either click or you don't. You know, and I think that it's on both sides of the fence. They either know that they're not clicking, or we know that they're not clicking. You know, so.
Here's the thing. I can tell you, I'm a really good reader of people. I can't imagine what kind of person wouldn't click with you guys. Well,
I think we've had people come and camp with us who've never been to Burning Man, and then their experience at Burning Man is being a part of a theme camp, and I think sometimes that can be difficult. For your very first time to be a part of such a production, you know?
I don't think we've had much attrition. I think that's why we keep growing.
Yeah.
Enough people aren't dropping off.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Well, some of you people leave.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's the people that I mean, for the core group though, it's like someone will bring someone to the table and be like, hey, this dude is badass. Like, I can vouch for him, and then next thing you know, that person that was brought in is badass, and it's like, wow, you've just opened up another avenue of making this thing that we do great. Then they get hooked on it, and they're bringing somebody, so it kind of just grows like that, and we've just lucked out with meeting some really good people in our camp. Really good people that bring a lot to the table.
One of the things that, like, throughout kind of decision making and growth phase that I've sort of returned to is to not take it too seriously. Now, some people would argue that I do take certain things seriously. Like, I enjoy the planning process. I literally like the preparation, but for the most part, like, it shouldn't, like, no one's feelings should get hurt. You know, it shouldn't be that serious. And if it starts to feel like work, then reconsider. You know, and when the spreadsheet gets to, like, 7 sheets and multiple formulas, that's when I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
We do a lot of spreadsheets, but then we don't really ever follow any of the spreadsheets. Everything's a spreadsheet.
We make it look really official, and we're like, They're like, well, what am I supposed to do? My shift at the bar start, and we're like, fuck it, just go over there and hang out, and we're good.
This year in particular, Chuck wanted me to do a schedule. I'm like, no one's going to follow the schedule. He's like, just do the schedule. 4 hours later of the schedule, I'm like, here's the schedule. And then on Playa, I was like, where's Chuck? Where's James? The whole time with this piece of paper.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody just kind of does their thing anyways.
Yeah, and as a group, like, what we do, like, we have what we do is what we do with buffing station, photos, bar, music, like.
Who wants a schedule on Playa?
Generally, but people are like, they're like, people are like, let's just, and we have a group of campers that are just cool like that. They're like, I'll buff for the next half hour.
Like, it's always amusing to me when I hear that there's, like, people have difficulty getting people to work the bar, because I think, like,
that's
the one thing we don't have.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. You're literally either on this side of the bar or this side of the bar, but you're doing the same thing.
You're
talking to random people.
No one wants to do MOOP.
Or the buffing is tricky.
Pictures.
Bikes sometimes falls. Like, we have someone on bike duty to, like, encourage people to tuck the bikes in.
Or park them at Spanky's Wine Bar.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Spanky's, but we were doing that.
Who came up with the buffing thing? When did that start?
That was actually my friend Sean. He took me my first year,
Long time ago.
He found out about it from a friend where he was, I think he described it to me, where he was at a friend's house and just kind of having a sit down a lot like this, and he kind of looked over by the bed and there's a car buffer plugged in, and Sean's a brilliant guy. He was sort of like, is that what I think it's for? And the guy's like, yeah. So he showed me, and I was like, this is cool, and I brought it to our first party, and then we
used to do it at Coachella.
Yeah.
We first did it at Coachella.
And we always like to say that, like, we were the ones who brought the buffers into the party scene. Because there were no buffers. Any parties that we used to go to, even when we were, like, younger, before Burning Man, when we used to bring the buffer and run it off a car battery at Coachella. Yeah. Remember we used to run, because there's no generators or anything.
Just for the record, we used to kill it at parties at Coachella.
We used to have theme camps at Coachella back in like 2000s, early 2000s. Yeah. and then so then we just had the buffing station. And that's like such a big hit. I mean,
it's a really big hit. People
I think we have like
thing.
collectively 10 buffers for our camp, and people love that. Especially the booty buffins and this and that. Like,
my husband likes to buff. Like, all the ladies over here.
That's nice.
You're like, every once in a while you gotta buff a naked dude, but there's plenty of naked women too.
What a service.
You're right.
So what's next for Dusty Poon Saloon? Any big future plans? What do you guys think about?
Utopia.
It's got to be organic.
Yeah, we're gonna do definitely.
We have the bandanas.
Yeah,
I'm getting married this year.
Hey, congratulations!
Thank you. So, and my
that's it. No more Burning Man for children.
Yeah. Well, my marriage is right around Burning Man, so
she a burner?
She is.
I mean, she kind of has to be, right?
Yeah, she goes.
Can you marry a non-burner?
She was a non-burner before I met her.
Yeah.
But then she's gone to 3 Burning Mans.
That seems to be the most, by the way, because I've had earlier episodes of the show that I basically used the interview as an excuse to get relationship advice. I'm single. How can we help you? Yeah. Literally, I just find ways to like bring up that subject. It has nothing to do with the interview.
Yeah.
But I've found over and over that the most consistent route to success seems to be meeting somebody who's not necessarily in the community and then showing it and bringing them in.
Yeah. And we always like to say our significant others kind of hold us at bay a little bit.
You need somebody to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
But they do, enjoy to go. But, it is. But as far as future plans, no Burning Man this year for most of us, for Dusty Poon Saloon.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We're kind of in every other.
We're kind of in every other year as of right now. I mean, we people that have children now, businesses.
That's a very sad ending.
Yeah, but
we're still going.
I think our like we're super fueled on the local, like Utopia. I know that there's a Joshua Tree regional event now too.
Bequinoxes.
Yeah,
that's the LA burn.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like
I almost called it Bequinois on accident because they had like misprints on their wristbands. So a bunch of them said like Bequinois instead of Bequinois. Okay, sorry, continue.
So yeah, maybe like the kind of more regional. I think that you want to always say Burning Man. Yes, it's changing this and that. And we just went over how we don't really care that much, but we do, and it's a huge commitment. And the regional burns are a little bit less commitment, just as much fun. I think there's a little bit more of a core kind of group of burners there as well. So I think,
and not that we won't be back in future years, but just like I was saying earlier in the show, if it starts to feel like work, like it'll happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to happen.
Yeah.
Everyone's life's gonna go on just fine.
Yeah. And I think every other year, kind of, it's you kind of Dusty Poon Saloon's back at Burning Man, like. That's rad, So I think it's cool.
2 years we want to pop up like that. We're back.
Surprise! It kind of makes you feel good too because we skipped 2014 Burning Man, and it kind of feels good when you go to like the organizers and say, "Hey, we're gonna come back," and they're like, "You guys are coming back? Sweet, we got just a spot for you." Like they remember you, and it's not just an application process, which you think it is. So, and that's what happened last year. We actually got better placement than we had the previous year, so we were rewarded, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and of course, thank you guys so much for the service that you provide to the community. We do. It's true. People remember Dusty Poon Saloon. It's always like a very positive energy. There's like certain camps that I feel like there's like a consistent, like, happy vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, no matter what time of the night you go, you kind of be like, oh, I don't know what it is about this place, but I immediately feel a little more comfortable. And earlier, maybe I was feeling a little lonely. Who knows? You get introverted, like...
That's what we want.
At you. Yeah.
Exactly what we, like, want. We
Yeah.
want someone to come in and feel comfortable. Like,
It's
no matter
always
what.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always has.
You know?
And I can tell you, by the way, this has been such a fun show to record. The last one we did was like the polyamory episode, and it was like real, like, I was on eggshells because of like being able to word things exactly perfectly in order to not offend.
Do I love this person?
So it was so difficult to get through. I mean, it was like a challenging episode. Important subject, but this one was very light and enjoyable.
Something you talk to your shrink about.
Drinks. Yeah, we had some bourbon. We had a good time, and I mean, real star of this episode, I think we can all agree, was Matt Patterson.
Matt Patterson, yeah, right on.
GoFundMe.com.
GoFundMe.com. Matt Patterson, look him up. Try to raise some money for that sound system. So.
That's awesome.
But-
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Really
Thanks for
enjoyed it.
having us.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
All right, and you can tweet me directly at Mr. Arash. And when discussing the show, please do use the hashtag #BurnerPodcast. You can also catch me on the Crappy Awesome Podcast. It is a weekly interview show and a staple in the independent hip-hop community for over 4 years and 200 episodes. Find it over at platformcollection.com. Burner Podcast shows are up on Libsyn and SoundCloud first. Libsyn is the broadcasting platform. It doesn't have the best player, but they're the ones that share it to iTunes. SoundCloud has the perfect quality, and that's where you can download the show and save it for your archives. Then it gets over to iTunes and Stitcher and TuneIn.com, and very soon it'll be on Spreaker as well, and some other places. Leave us some reviews, please, on iTunes. That would be incredibly kind of you, or not, be a dick. Our intermission music is by Duckman. Check out his music over at duckmansd.bandcamp.com. Or if you are a musician in our community, tweet your music over to our music editor, Navjeet. He is at @IamNavjeet. The Burner Podcast theme song is America's Horse with No Name remix, produced by Joe Man. Check out his stuff at soundcloud.com/DJ Joeman. This episode is produced by Meg King. If you have questions or suggestions for future guests, shoot them over to Meg King. She is on Twitter at @ThatMegKing. Our online editor is Tanasi. He writes and curates the blog. You can reach him by shooting him a message at burnerpodcast.com. Hope you'll join us next time. We do release new episodes on the first and third Wednesdays of the month. So until next time, love and light and all that other crap. Good night.